What is going on, everyone? James, Urban Bass Slayers out in the backyard. Quick little video for you guys. What's going on with the channel and bass fishing this time of the year with spring, and the spawn is pretty much coming to an end right now. So I was out filming with my GoPro and it decided to take a dump on me. Everybody knows that the action cams, they have overheating problems and all that stuff. And all my batteries started like blowing out on me. Got new batteries, wasn't the issue. Got a new card, that wasn't the issue, so it's the actual camera. Have to get a new camera here. I did get a kayak, been taking that thing out, and went to Folsom Lake with my buddy. Been catching everything on soft plastics this year. It's kind of weird, some years are different. Have been taking my big baits out and I have been trying to catch them. They just don't want to eat them. It's kind of weird, man. All of our big fish have been coming on Senkos, Texas Rig Senkos. We've tried crankbaits, we've tried chatterbaits, everything at some of our spots. The fish are just acting weird this year. So right now, we are coming up on Memorial Day weekend. And like Tactile Bassin always says, like around the first full moon in June, that's when you're gonna stop seeing a lot of bass activity when it comes to the spawn. Bass are pretty much coming to an end of the spawn here in Sacramento. It's kind of weird how it works. But some of the other spots, which is weird, like Clear Lake, I'm hearing a lot of people saying that the fish are just now starting to spawn there. Depends on where you're at. So some spots are already post-spawn, some spots are in the middle of the spawn, some spots haven't even started spawning. And sometimes it comes to the different fish in the different spots. But so the spot we've been going to, catching a lot of like 4.5, 5 pounders. I would have had some really cool footage for you guys, but unfortunately camera's dead. So another thing that we realized this time of the year, on those days when there is no wind and it's super hot out, the hotter days, the fish don't bite as much, and they hunker down and they're hard to find. We're typically pitching the sides and the grass and stuff around the ponds around Sacramento. Just go around, find the thick stuff around trees, around the shade spots, and you'll find some fish. We are catching most of our fish that way, and throwing the Senkos out and running them really fast and getting the bass to chase them, because there's a lot of fry garters and stuff like that right now. They're also chasing down bluegill. So on those really sunny days, we weren't getting many bites, and we've realized, and watching some of my old footage, the windy days and the overcast days, those are the best days in the spring for some weird reason. I used to always want to go out during the days when it's like today. There's not a cloud in the sky. And that's good if you're bed fishing. This year the water's been really high in most of the ponds around Sacramento, so it's been like really muddy. A lot of the spots are like super high and you can't see the beds. That makes it kind of tough. There's a lot of new beavers that have made beaver dams in a lot of the ponds, and the water's up like 1.5 to 2 feet in a lot of the ponds, which makes it really tough to find the beds. So in that sense, you just gotta go around the thick stuff and pitch a Senko in there. There'll be beds down underneath that stuff on the sides. A lot of people walk up this time of year and they're casting out for the fish. Those fish are right at your feet. I've walked up between people multiple times this year and been like, hey, you mind if I drop my bait down in here right here? They're just like looking at me like I'm crazy, and pull out a 3-pounder or a 4-pounder, and that's just how I do it, man. Those fish are up to the sides. But on those days when it's windy and it's overcast, that's when they're eating the topwaters really good, and they're out roaming around. Bass don't have eyelids, so on those days when it's overcast out, those big ones, they get out and they roam around. And it's also a little bit cooler and the oxygen's better in the water. So yeah, you got those fry garters, and right about now you got like recovering females also, and they're going to be hungry once they kind of recover after they've spawned. Those big females are going to really start chewing. And this topwater time, looking back on my old videos and everything, like whopper ploppers, spooks, any kind of like topwater bait, toss them out over where you think beds would be if you got open water, and just keep running your bait through those areas. And just like if you were working a bed, but you're working it on top, because you can't see those fish. Another thing I used to do is on my raft or kayak or whatever, take your bait and just run figure eights. I let the wind drift me, down the sides where beds are. That's if you can't see and the water's really muddy, and just figure eight a crankbait or something as you're going down the side. I've caught so many fish doing that on beds, and come back like a week later and the water has like cleared up and it's gone down a little bit, and you can see there was beds there where I was catching the fish, and I'm like, oh, that's what happened. When I was originally doing it, I didn't know that I was catching fish off beds, but that's kind of what it came down to. So anyways, yes, bed fishing right now is like full swing. It's like you got pre-spawn, post-spawn. It's depends on where you're fishing at. Every fishery is different. We've got spots like Lake Natoma over here that comes out of the bottom of Folsom Lake. That water is super cold, super duper cold, because it's coming out of the bottom of Folsom Lake. It goes over into there. As a kid, we used to float the river all the time and hang out at that spot, and that water is super cold. That spot takes a little bit longer for some of those fish to spawn. You got those smaller ponds around town, like the Natomas ponds, Tanzanite, all of those places. A lot of those spots, they warm up faster, and you're going to get the spawn to happen in those spots quicker. So you keep going around to, like, you start off in the smaller ponds, go to like the medium-sized spots, and then the spots with the colder water, places like Clear Lake, stuff like that. Clear Lake, from what I hear, is they're just starting to spawn there, which is really weird. They're wanting to make it up there with the new kayak, and might happen pretty soon here, but we'll see. My buddy Mike and I might be hitting the Sac Delta soon on the kayaks. That'll be pretty fun. Took kayaks out to Folsom Lake. Caught some spotties. He caught a good sized smallmouth, and yeah. Anyways, spawn's just about over. But like I said, those days like today when there's no wind and it's super hot, hard to get them to bite, man. Hard to get them to bite. So anyways, Urban Bass Slayers, thank you guys for watching, sticking with me. Get out there and go fishing. It's time right now. It's going to get super hot here as summer rolls in, and it gets to the point to where when you're going out, if you're out for more than a couple hours this time of the year, especially in the afternoon, you better drink some water, man, because we were only out a couple hours ago, or a couple days ago, and what, like 6 hours we were fishing. We were drinking water and everything, and we still, man, it'll get to you even if you're hydrating and doing all that stuff. So careful out there this summer. I've overheated myself many times, so try to find shade spots. Utilize shade spots if you're shore fishing, even if you're on a raft or a kayak or whatever. If you start getting too hot, pull yourself into shade and chill out for like half hour, drink water, do all that stuff. Do it before you start getting a headache. We didn't do that the other day, so another little tip there. Yeah, so all of our fish have been coming in the thick grass in all of the ponds that I've been fishing, so just think about that right now this time of the year. If there's grass, there's bass, and there's oxygen in there. The bait fish are in there, bluegill are in there, everything's in the grass, crawdads are in the grass. Yeah, that's about it. So, Urban Bass Slayers, thank you guys for watching, and get out there, go fish.